Welcome back to Young Arena as it's time for Coach's Comments being brought to you by Southside Auto Tech. We're joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo. And Rocky, just your initial reactions on this one here.
I mean, the mistakes we made in the first period are just too much to overcome. I'm not a big believer in moral victories. It's too high of a level to talk about moral victories. And, I can certainly say that I'm happy that we continued to battle and, we put ourselves in position to at least have a chance to come back in the third. But they got a high-end chance in the third period, and they bury it in the corner of the net. And we had 3 high-end chances in the third, and we hit the goalie in the belly. So, we've got to execute when we get our chances. And the mistakes we made are they're frustrating mistakes because we know the ice is bigger than what we're used to. And we did a poor job of managing it. We can talk about it all we want, but it's impossible to replicate during practice because the bounces are different, the angles are different. But we need to be under the puck on breakouts. That's a tale as old as time. Turn it over, it ends up in your net. We need to make sure that we read center speed on line rushes. Like, these are things that we taught in training camp. So, there's certainly a lot of frustration right now, but it's 5-0 at the end of the first. It ends up 6-3. At least we can say that we continue to compete all the way through the end of the game. We get them 3 times in our building. And, we've got to find a way to win those 3 games and make sure the series ends even at the end of the year. What
was your message to the team after the game? Like you said, you did play very strong the rest of the way.
I just told them that, exactly what I just said to you. I'm not going to come in here and talk about moral victories and this, that, and the other because we gave up 5 goals in the third period, and that's embarrassing for all of us. And it's not something that's acceptable. And that's 3 games in a row we're not ready to play. And, I can talk to them all I want, but they have to make the mental decision to be ready to play. And, we just weren't. And, it's a tough first call. I didn't really think it was a penalty. In fact, I know it wasn't a penalty, but, if you're going to let somebody run around in the offensive zone for close to 2 minutes on a power play, eventually they're going to find their way into burying a puck. And that's a bad bounce. Jimmy blocks it. It goes up in the air, and all of a sudden it's in the net. That's frustrating because we did such a good job on that kill. But then we compound it by giving up the breakaway and then giving up the 2-on-1 and they're silly frustrating mistakes that just have to be cleaned up. They have to be cleaned up and there's things we watch on video, there's things we talk about daily and we have to find a way to execute, and we're cheating it too much and maybe we'll have to put some guys in the stands and give them a chance to watch, and maybe that'll help them learn a little bit.
How do you get off to a good start in the first tomorrow? It's been uncharacteristic, no goals the last 3 games in the first period.
That's a good question because we've, all year long have been a good first period team, and we've scored a lot in the first period. And in the 4 games that we won leading up to and now a 3-game losing streak, we were outstanding in the first 5 minutes of all 4 of those games. And we were focused and ready to play. And so, as a coach, it makes you bang your head against the wall because it's the same group, it's the same message, it's the same expectations, and we can come out one game and just be absolute rock stars in the first 5, and we can come out the next game and just have no energy and no interest, and so we need to figure out how to bring the same energy level and the same details night in and night out.
Rocky, thank you for the time. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
That was the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo, joining us after tonight's 6-3 loss to Waterloo. Coach's Comments, as always, brought to you by Southside Auto Tech.